I'll tell you one of the most shocking things about life to me anyway, in the world that I live in, and being a motivational speaker and a counselor and a master life coach and all kinds of different things over the past 45 years, was 1990 was a shocking year for me. This was when, after I had a real challenging number of years, and it was all my life was crashing down and crashing down and crashing down. And all of a sudden I went in, I had a failed suicide attempt. And after the failed suicide attempt, working with a psychiatrist, we went through a battery of mental health testing. He looked at me and he said, David Essel, do you know that you have been struggling with deep clinical depression since you were a child? And I started laughing and I said, hey, wait a minute, Lifetime Television in New York just labeled me Mr. Motivation, and magazine covers I'm on are calling me Mr. Motivation. How could Mr. Motivation have deep clinical depression from childhood? And he said, listen, we're looking at patterns and we're going back over your childhood, everything that you told us about, your anger that was so out of control in childhood, your insecurity that was incredibly out of control in childhood, and you began drinking at 12, for God's sake. People don't do that unless they're depressed. They start drinking at 12 or doing drugs at 12 or smoking cigarettes at 12, many times because of the fact that they're battling with some kind of a mental challenge. And of course, back when I was a young kid, we're talking about 50s and 60s, there was no diagnosis for depression or anxiety for, adolescents, for children. So in 1990, it was a complete shock. And then he went on to show me, just from all of our meetings, all the statistics and all the quotes he had written down for me, and oh my God, he was right. And one of the greatest things that we found out is that I had utilized alcohol from 12 years of age, my God, for 30 years in order to not feel depressed. Isn't that fascinating? Now, we know alcohol is a depressant, but the first couple of drinks take away all of your depression. And then, of course, the next day, the depression is just worse. But I found through this gentleman's help and through a therapist's help that, clinical depression is not the end of the world. As a matter of fact, it's awesome to get a diagnosis because then we can work with it, right? So I was on some pretty heavy medication for a year. I finally got off of all medication, haven't been back on it since for that specific instance for depression, and started utilizing all the tools that I've been was teaching people that I did myself, but not to the extent that I had to start in 1990. My meditation picked up dramatically. The amount of deep breathing exercises, the amount of journaling work, the amount of therapy work that I started doing was off the charts. I was looking at all kinds of supplements, and I started creating this list of supplements to help me. And from 1990 to today, I'm just so blessed to be able to say that we have helped millions of people, absolute millions of people, through our articles, our blogs, our podcasts, our radio shows, our TV and radio interviews, that we can minimize depression. Now, some people, depending on how deep it is, may have to stay on some form of medication for a number of years. Other people can wean off with your doctor's help, instituting these techniques that we teach right now. And if you're interested, and if you find yourself battling with depression and you're not sure what to do, come to the website, talkdavid.com. We've got a brand new program, Motivation and Joy it's called, and we're working with things like individuals that have struggled long-term with anxiety, depression, etc. Let us help you. You don't have to have a death sentence with depression. We can find tools that'll work for you. May not work for someone else, but they'll work for you. I mean, oh my God, there's over 2,000 tools in the world of mental health to help people deal with mental health challenges. Join me at talkdavid.com. Let's minimize your depression, maybe even eradicate it, and get you back to the life you want to live. Have a beautiful day.